like you'd see green and then blue and then green and then blue from like grass and sky. There was like a swirl of green and blue.
We rolled up on the scene and we're like, oh my gosh.
Water hauling mission, so in Marion, Kentucky. So that whole county was out of water, and so we were taking water from other counties and pretty much loading it in the tanks and the trucks and hauling water back and forth. So, as a passenger, you'd get out and you'd fill the water from the top of the tank and then get back in and drive to the dump site. Okay. So that's what I was doing. I was supposed to be there around 3 weeks, and then I was only there for a week and a half until the rollover. We were coming on turn, a right curve, and the semi had gone over the yellow line coming in the opposite direction. So he was a couple feet over the yellow line. So the driver of the truck I was in and did the best that he could. He got over a little bit. The right side of the truck, those wheels, the tires were off the ground. Luckily the grass on that level was the same level as the concrete. So I mean, I wasn't too worried about it at that point. When coming up ahead a little bit, there was a guardrail. So once the semi passed, he had to get back on the road pretty quick to avoid hitting that guardrail. When that happened, unfortunately, it went across the other side of the road. We took that guardrail with us and rolled down an embankment and wrapped the guardrail around the truck a little bit. That was my first time rolling in any kind of vehicle. It was like you'd see green and then blue and then green and then blue from like grass and sky. There was like a swirl of green and blue.
Chief Schutz here at the Utes got the phone call for the recovery mission, and then he came across the PA system and asked the whole record team to come to his office. And then he briefed us on the situation. A water truck had rolled over in Marion. It's actually north of Marion in Marion, Kentucky. And we knew there was 3,000 gallons of water on the back of this truck, and then it went down a 25-foot embankment and rolled over at least a couple of times. During the brief, if the truck was on its side or if it was upright, so I brought a 10-ton wrecker, a 5-ton wrecker, a contact truck, and a backup vehicle, F-150, with 7 personnel with me. And so we rolled up on the scene and we're like, oh my gosh. And we took a deep side that it was upright on its tires, but the magnitude of the 25-foot embankment and how far it was off the road, it was a challenge for us at first. We walked down a riprap down a 25-foot embankment with reeds, tall reeds as tall as you are, and finding our path to get down to the truck and to see what was going on. And the truck had pulled up about 200 feet of guardrail off the side of the road and had wrapped itself once around it. And it was coming back out through the first 2 axles and then going back up to the road. So the first problem we had was how we're going to get this guardrail off. So we tried to unbolt it, and that didn't work because it was all mangled up. So we had a cutting wheel, a 4.5-inch grinder, and about I'd say 125 feet of electrical cord, extension cord, draped off the highway, connected to the contact truck, going to the rolled over truck with 1 cutting wheel. That's all we had. So we had to get it right the first time and not destroy the cutting wheel to complete the disassembly of the guardrail. It took about 4 or 5 people, I'd say 30 minutes just to get the guardrail off.
Everything was hurting already because I had my seatbelt on, I had my helmet on. So thank God for that, because if I didn't, I would have been messed up. When it rolled on my side, like the passenger side. So when we hit, I'm guessing that I hit my head on something. My helmet was on, so that helped tremendously. Still felt some pain in my head from the hit, which is probably just the ground or the window on this side. I guess that was like my second thought was keep my mouth and eyes closed so I don't get dirt or glass or debris or anything in there. So the first roll, I did keep my mouth closed as far as I can remember, and my eyes. Curiosity got the best of me, and I opened my eyes, saw the ground in the sky, and I was like, I thought, like this could be it. If the water tank comes detached, I'm thinking it's gonna come in and crush the cab, and it's full of water, I don't know how many gallons, but if that happens, then I'm thinking, well, it's gonna be quick, I hope. Then I prayed, and I just prayed to ask God for help. It was a simple prayer. You don't have a lot of time. It was like a 1-second prayer, like, God help us, And then as soon as I did that, the truck stopped rolling, and it landed upright, which is lucky too. I don't want it to land on its side or upside down. It landed upright. Of course, I'm on this side, so I had to get out on his side because my side was crushed in. My door couldn't open, and the roof was here. So actually, I think I was leaning over when when it stopped rolling. I was kind of leaning here because the roof was down. So I had to push off with my right leg, and that was bruises from knee to ankle. So I felt that a little bit. He helped me out after that because I didn't know if the leg was, if there was a fracture or a break or just a lot of bruising. So luckily enough, it was just bruising. My phone, my backpack, my water bottle were all dozens of feet away from the truck because they had gotten thrown out, So I found my stuff, found my phone and my backpack and everything. And as soon as that happened, the ambulance came. I called my mom because I was like, I didn't know what else to do, And she was in Florida, and this is in Kentucky, so it's not like she's close or anything. I just called her to let her know. I was like, hey, something happened and I'm okay, but I wanted to call somebody, So I'm just gonna let you know that the truck rolled over and everything, and we're gonna go to the hospital just get checked out, but we're not seriously hurt, everything's okay. Weird thing is, I'd asked for prayer from my mom and my wife and a friend of mine. I asked all three of them for prayer the night before for like safety. Just had a feeling, and I just asked them the night before. I texted them like, pray for our safety here and for our mission and what we're doing, serving the people here. And so they said they'd be praying, and then this happened, So it's like, it's weird how, this happened and God preserved our life. I think He heard their prayers.
At first glance of the vehicle, looking at the cab, I was amazed that they survived. The passenger side was completely collapsed on top of the seat, plus some, and he was 6 foot. And so I was amazed with the aluminum cab, the construction of the cab. Seat belts work and Kevlar's work, and these guys were able to walk away. It's just amazing.
For people that have been through situations like this, they can probably relate, be grateful every day for what you have. Before that wreck, honestly, I think I was in a place where I was kind of being selfish. I was really taking for granted the things that I had in life, the blessings I had, opportunities, the people I have in my life. So value the people you have in your life. For me, that's a really good wife that's put up with me, a really good mom and stepdad, and some really good friends, a good church family. There's countless people, that I can be grateful for, and I think it's a discipline to wake up every day and choose not to fall into a negative way of thinking, but also choose the right thing, choose to be grateful, choose to take every opportunity, and live life to the fullest.